Hey y'all, happy Saturday. It is a gloomy Saturday. It did start raining earlier today, and it's supposed to rain all weekend. So though it's mild outside, it's still gloomy. So I did turn on DoorDash, and I did have a lot of orders that I declined, so I'm going to stop it here and show you. So you hit decline in DoorDash. I'm going to tell you what you won. I call this a scare tactic. One is often used in corporate America. First, they're going to do is question your decision, because if there's any doubt placed in your mind, they can sway your decision. If they see that you're standing firm on declining, they're going to gas you up. You're the best, you're the right person, you're the only person, knowing darn well there's others that can be doing this. If that still does not encourage you to go back, they're going to now scare you by throwing out these numbers, letting you know what would happen that would affect your status in this particular app. If you're tied up in that, go ahead and go back. But if you consider your time, your money, then you would decide where you should go. For me, I went ahead and hit decline. But here comes all of the paperwork, aka all these reasons why you're declining. Definitely choose one that's closely related to why you're declining. I personally don't believe that any one of these will avoid your acceptance rate not dropping, but go ahead and choose one that's closely related. And then you can continue on and put in any additional information. For me, this is the reason why I choose to let the timer run out versus decline, instead of doing all of this different reasoning and so on and so forth, versus then while I'm letting this timer run out, I'm actually driving and getting to areas where there are better offers. All right, so I don't know why this is not sitting up good. Okay. So yeah, one reason why I declined them is because the distance to pay. One order I would have taken, but I still needed to run my errands, and I was near the place that I needed to run into. So I did pause my dash. That's the plus with DoorDash, that I can pause within. And from there, I started back, and the first order I picked up was for Chick-fil-A. I'm going to show you. My glasses are dirty. Which Chick-fil-A. And I did turn on the directions sign to go to the restaurant, which is still weird. Let me tell you why it's weird. Because the address is not in line with the address of the other two restaurants that I went to that day. But okay, if they say so, they say so. I gotta clean up my glasses at one point. So then, so I'm headed to do this, and ideally I wouldn't. I picked this up because it is not paying that much, going a little bit further than I would like, so it's not a win-win, but it is out near this coffee shop. The customer is where I want to get this coffee, so we gotta meet halfway. So this is what I'm doing. I am only working until 3:30ish because I need to make it back to where Papa work at, so we can switch off the car again because he works long. I have been out this week doing my thing, even though I've been on vacation from my 9 to 5. I've been actually using this time to do my side gigs since I couldn't go nowhere at this point. And I couldn't go nowhere not because of the current situation with the pandemic. It's because Papa had some things in the middle of the week to do, and I just decided it is what it is. So with that being said, I want to officially have Sunday off, not doing anything, lounging. I think I need to volunteer tomorrow at church. I gotta double check, but most of the time I'm gonna lounge. So I want to go ahead and do as much that I can before 3:30, so I can meet this goal that I made for this week. And I definitely share that when I do what I earn in a week. So let me go ahead and get to this customer, and I'll see you again when I get another order. All right. Sometimes you just have to decline orders, not just because of pay and distance, but because it's taking you out of the area that you would like to deliver in. Additionally, for me, these orders were declined because I wanted to be on one side of town when I ended the dash because I had some errands to run. So sometimes you have to make that decision, and it may not be the best, but I have the option of doing that, so I take advantage of that. That I was on ended a little bit after 2:30ish, and I decided, since I was still a ways away from my home, I was going to just return to dash and dash a little bit more, and I plan to do that until like around 3:30ish. I thought that it'd give me enough time to grab the items from my house, run Papa errands, and then get back to where he works so we can switch out the car. But that did not happen. What I received was a order for that you should have seen was for a PetSmart situation, and I wasn't about to do that. And then I received this order, and it was literally like I was driving up on this restaurant, and the customer actually lived around a corner from it. It did start to rain, and I just decided that it probably was time for me just to end the dash. They had a really simple order that I did have to wait for, and that's honestly what has been happening today, and what encouraged me to go ahead and cancel was because, well, not cancel, but in the dash, was because it was like a hurry up and wait situation at these restaurants. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, getting there by the time requested by DoorDash, but these orders are taking 5 to 10 minutes to be prepared. So this is where I ended my dash. So the next video you should see is what I've earned for the week. To find out what I earned for the week, we first must find out what I earned in each platform, starting with the platform I earned the least in, which was Grubhub. That was for a total earnings of $31.08. That was broken down in delivery pay of $24.45, and the tips were $6.63. That was for a total of 2 orders. I did reject a lot of orders, and one reason was distance. Others was the pickup process, such as KFC. Their dining rooms in my area is closed, so you have to wait in the drive-thru, and I feel like that's the stupidest thing in the world, so I always reject KFC orders. The next platform that I earned money in was DoorDash, and of course you've seen the activity for DoorDash, or most of it, for the day, but the total was $54.75. The DoorDash pay was $23.25, and the customer tips was $28. As you can see, there's also a reimbursement for the McDonald's order that they machine wasn't working, so they end up canceling that order and giving me $3.50 as a reimbursement for my time. The next platform that I earned money in was in Ubereats. The total earnings was $71.26. That was for 4 hours and 3 minutes for over a course of 3 days. That was a total of 5 trips. I did receive 10 points. 100% of my customers did tip, and the average tip was $5.59. So the breakdown net fare was $32.10. The promotions was $11.19. The tips were $27.97 for that grand total of $71.26. The next platform, and a platform we haven't seen in a while, was Ship. I decided, since I was on vacation, let me go ahead and see what Ship was talking about. And they was doing some pretty good promotions. There was a lot of order paying promos that I was able to take advantage of, because I primarily choose those when I'm in Ship, because customers do not tip in Ship as often as they may tip or in other apps, and you cannot see it in Ship. So I'm very selective when I pick up Ship orders. So the total earnings was $145.45. The order pay and promo was $113.01, and the tips this week were $32.44. And as you can see, that most of these orders or excuse me, all of these order was order pay in promo, and 3 of the 7 customers did leave a tip that was already included, but again, they do not show you that until after you deliver. The last platform that I worked in was Instacart, and that was for a total of $176.24. That was for 6 batches. The Instacart payment was $75. The tips was $101.24. So on Thursday, I did my first order around 8:20. Was 2 full service order, and initially this order was actually going for $27. Okay, and what happened was, as you can see, customer B adjustments affected the tipped amount. Okay, first and foremost, this meant that I had to do replacements and refunds, and because of that, that brought down the estimated tip that's usually attached to your order when you order through Instacart. The customer went in and actually modified the tip post delivery, so she went back in and she upped the tip more than the initial tip. And I believe that was due to communication. I did have to make, as you can see, 1 replacement, okay? And I was really specific with the interaction with her from the beginning to the end. And then also there was a couple items that I had questions about in regards to if this was something she would like based on how it looked. And she was very appreciative that I took the time out to ask her about certain things that she would have thought of if she was in the store, as she stated, but no one else asks her that when they're shopping for her. So that I am very grateful. So I would say communicate, communicate, communicate. You never know what will happen, and how appreciative customers are when you make them part of the process as well. So I don't even have to tell you that I met my weekly goal, but I'm going to tell you, I met my weekly goal. I exceeded it, and I met my stretch goal. I exceeded that, and the total earnings for the week is $478.78. That is the most I've ever made, and it was because I was able to dedicate more time to doing the side gigs. And I'm very grateful for that, because there's a lot of stuff coming up that I just want to make sure I have the extra money to dedicate towards it. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be part of my village. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. To all my returning subscribers, I thank you. Everyone hit that thumbs up, and please share with your family, your friends, and your co-workers. Peace out.